Stop scrolling. You have to hear this update. If you saw Micron, Western Digital, and Seagate Technology in the red today and thought the AI party was over for memory stocks, you are being fooled by the public tape. Many retail investors today panicked with the 1.7% drop in Micron and sold their shares to participate in profit taking. I, on the other hand, was watching the charts, looking at the Nasdaq Closing Cross. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have caught the biggest whale activity of the year yet. At exactly 4 p.m. today, a massive $405 million print hit the tape. And it was followed immediately by a $204 million trade in the dark pool. We're talking about over $600 million of Micron stock being swallowed up in the final seconds of trading. In this video today, I'm going to show you exactly why and how the smart money treated today's dip like a clearance sale, and why another bullish signal of a $1.4 million option bet should tell us everything we need to know about Micron and how it's potentially heading for a $450 share price by the end of the week. Before we get started, though, hit like and subscribe. Honestly, this video should get 10,000 views. That's how important it is. You should share it with all your friends that are Micron investors. But let's get started and talk about what we saw today. We're going to jump in and take a look at three major whale moves today that should tell us everything we need to know about the sentiment that the institutional investors have for Micron and should give us a clear signal of where this stock is heading by the end of the week. Let's get started and first take a look at some major block trades that happened right at the close. So you can see on your screen is I'm looking at Market Chameleon and looking at major block trades. And I often talk about the dark pool activity on this channel, and many of the viewers ask me, can you really see dark flow and dark pool activity? And the answer is yes. Even private trades are tracked. Private dark pools must be reported to the FINRA trade reporting facility. So yes, we can see this activity. And I'm going to show you on the screen exactly how you can. If you take a look at what you're seeing in the black, you'll see on the far right, it says exchange, the far right column. And you can see dark pool, the last few, they're all listed there. That's the private exchange that happens off of the Nasdaq and other major exchanges that we know. And I want you to look right in the middle of the screen. You could see right at 4 p.m., 962,000 shares of Micron were traded. That's $405 million. 5 seconds later, the row right above it, you had another almost 500,000 shares of Micron for $204 million. In fact, the next few rows up is about another 100 million in Micron shares that were traded. Between 4 and 406, we're talking about over $700 million of Micron shares traded in 5 or 6 minutes. Now, the most astute or most sharpest viewers on the channel might say, Kevin, I see dark pool, but that first one, that $405 million trade didn't happen in the dark pool. It happened in the Nasdaq. And you're absolutely right. That happened right at closing bell. That one isn't less important. In fact, I think that makes it even more important. That is the Nasdaq Closing Cross. It is the highest conviction trade of the day. This is when an institution drops $405 million on the public exchange. They are saying to the world that I don't care if you see it. I need the shares that bad. And you combine that with the $204 million activity that we saw in the dark pool, that tells us everything we need to know about what the smart money buying is doing. They gobbled up $600 million of Micron right at the close. And in fact, dark pool today for Micron was 48%. 48% of all the trading volume for Micron occurred in that dark pool today. This tells me that every retail investor that panicked and sold today, on the other side of that trade was an institutional whale that gobbled up that trade. They caught that stock and they put it in their private pool. Massive signal for us Micron fans. Now let's jump over and take a look at what happened in the options market. And you can see on your screen here is a lot of data information, but I set it on that top row that I want you to think about or look at. And you can see in the time, 3:19, this whale was caught making a trade. Go across, you can take a look at the quantity. 1,000 options were bought. And so these 1,000 options were bought for the $420 call that expires on Friday. You can see the expiration date over to your left, February 27th. So they paid $1.4 million pure premium for a 4-day bet. they are not looking for a long-term hold. This is a major hedge fund, most likely, that moved in and bought these contracts. It was a big move, a massive move for them, and we caught it on tape. It tells us everything we need to know. This institutional investor is looking for a massive V-shaped recovery by the end of the week. And when you look at the put-call ratio that we had today, is 0.63 for Micron, it should tell us that everything we need to know, that the sentiment today was overwhelmingly bullish. The pros are buying the insurance. They are buying the gasoline for the next leg up with Micron. Now let's take a look at what happened in the after hours. Starting to happen and starting to move. You can see where we closed. Look at the pre-market, up almost $3, closing on $3, 0.6% growth, pushing closer to $4.24 a share. Ladies and gentlemen, those are massive signals for us Micron fans. What that is telling us is that the institutional whales are moving in. And why are they moving in? Very simple. We know that Micron trades at a ridiculously low forward PE compared to its peers in the semiconductor industry. And Wall Street is predicting for Micron to have a 307% increase in their earnings this year. In addition, there was rumors swirling today that the Trump administration is looking to turn CHIPS Act grants into equity stakes, which would solidify Micron as the national champion of AI hardware if that was to happen. And then finally, I mentioned earlier, Micron's leadership team came out today and they confirmed that their HBM4 is officially sold out. That is guaranteed revenue on the books for Micron for 22 months. Today's dip was just a gift for each and every one of us from the market gods. The bottom line today and what we saw was a classic institutional absorption day. The $600 million that we saw at the closing prints and in the dark pool, combined with the $1.4 million option bet, tells us the whole story. I'm going to watch tomorrow for the 421 level. If we can break through that level, I think the road to 450 is wide open for the end of the week. Let me know what you think, though. Are you watching the candles, or are you going to look at the trade flow and the order flow that's happening with Micron? Tell me if you're going to be you're going to buy the dip, or you're going to be sitting on the sidelines. Love to hear your comments below. Drop them in there. I'll answer each and every one of you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.